Ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. Welcome to Latvenergo Investor Conference webinar about financial results of 9 months 2016. Today we are hosted by Latvenergo Chief Financial Officer Guntars Baļčūns. Before I give the floor to Mr. Baļčūns, a short reminder about the agenda of the webinar. Firstly, we will have a presentation about Latvenergo Group activities and financials in the first 9 months of 2016. Afterwards, we will proceed with the questions and answers session. If you would like to also use this unique opportunity to ask a question directly to the CFO of Latvenergo, please use the question box on the right side of your screen. All questions will be addressed after the presentation. Mr. Baļčūns, I invite you to start the presentation.
Thank you. Good afternoon, investors and other stakeholders. It's my pleasure to welcome you to Latvenergo webinar. My name is Guntars Baļčūns, and I am CFO of Latvenergo. As always, we start the presentation with a short introduction of the Latvenergo Group. Latvenergo is a vertically integrated utility that operates in all 3 Baltic countries. Latvenergo is wholly owned by Republic of Latvia. Latvenergo credit rating is Baa2 with stable outlook. Latvenergo key generation assets are combined heat and power plants and hydro power plants. As well, we own transmission assets and distribution assets. As electricity supplier, we hold approximately 1/3 of electricity market share in the Baltics. Now, before we turning to more detailed overview of our financial results, let me first highlight some of the key market factors and events that have affected our business performance. In 9 months of 2016, electricity spot price in Latvia and also in Lithuania has decreased. The electricity spot price in Latvia decreased by 12% and reached 35.5 euros per megawatt hour, while in Lithuania the price decreased by 10%. This decrease is mainly attributed to the opening of Nord-Baltic interconnection between Sweden and Lithuania, and leading to a convergence of electricity price between the Baltic countries and Nordic countries. At the same time, the electricity price in Estonia and Finland has increased. In Estonia, bidding areas spot price rose by 2% and in Finland by 5%. The electricity price increase in Estonia and Finland, also in Sweden, was influenced by colder weather condition at the beginning of 2016, and also by repair works of power plants and transmission infrastructure in summer months. Additional factor that influences the decrease in electricity price in Latvia and also in Lithuania was a decline of natural gas price. And natural gas price in Latvia decreased by 26%. Lower natural gas price increased the competitiveness of Riga CHPs and facilitated higher electricity output and also helped to stabilize electricity price in the region. Now we move to slide number 7, where we will look at the summary of Latvenergo Group financial results. And overall, our revenues has not changed significantly comparing to last year, while Latvenergo Group EBITDA has increased by 22% and reached 288 million euros. The results were positively impacted by lower natural gas and lower electricity spot price, as well as higher electricity production at Daugavas hydropower plants contributed positively to the results of Latvenergo Group. As I already mentioned, the natural gas price in Latvia was by 26% lower, while electricity spot price in Latvia was by 12% lower. Now let's take a closer look at the performance of each operating segment, and starting with generation and supply. Generation and supply is the largest segment, and that makes 57% of group's EBITDA. Similarly to Latvenergo Group results, generation and supply segments were positively impacted by lower electricity price, lower natural gas price, and increased hydro generation. Overall, the amount of electricity generated has increased by 14% and reached 3.1 terawatt-hour, of which 1.8 terawatt-hour has been generated in Daugavas hydropower plants. That's increased by 13%, while 1.2 terawatt-hours were generated in Riga CHPs, increased by 15%. The increase in generated electricity in Riga CHPs was mainly driven by the positive market conditions. And additionally, I would like to say that operations of Riga CHPs also precluded the electricity price increase in the region. The electricity supplied to customers has slightly decreased, and it is mainly due to intensified price competition in Baltics. Nevertheless, Latvenergo Group has maintained the leading electricity supplier position in the Baltics, with approximately 1/3 of the retail market, and 1/3 of electricity is supplied to customers in our neighbor countries, Lithuania and Estonia. Next, turn to slide number 9, and let's take a look at the performance of distribution segment, which is second largest segment, and it makes 26% of group's EBITDA, and it is represented by Sadales tīkls. In 9 months of 2016, revenues of distribution segment increased by 6% and reached to 224 million euros, and EBITDA increased by 17% and reaches 76 million euros. Positive impact on the results was due to increased distribution service revenues, positive influence of 12.5 million euros, while the negative impact is due to the higher purchasing costs of distribution losses. At the same time, I would like to mention that electricity distributed reached 4,773 gigawatt hours. That is 3% more than last year. Additionally, I want to remind that starting from the 1st August 2016, the changes in electricity distribution system service tariffs came into the force, and the new balanced tariffs foresee introduction of a fixed fee to all customers, and at the same time there is decrease in variable fee. And due to the decrease in variable fee, there are large part of customers whose electricity bills will remain unchanged or even decrease. We believe that a new balanced tariff model would allow would motivate customers to optimize power connections and would allow us to optimize distribution network. Let's turn to third operating segment, transmission assets, and transmission assets makes 13% of group EBITDA. It is represented by Latvijas Elektriskie tīkli. The company owns transmission assets and leases these assets to Augsprieguma tīkls, and Augsprieguma tīkls is independent transmission system operator in Latvia. In terms of financial performance, I want to highlight that in 9 months period, revenues and EBITDA increased year on year, and it is mainly driven by gradual increase of regulatory asset base into the lease for Augsprieguma tīkls. Investments in transmission assets in this period was 16.4 million euros. Now we move to overview of investment figures, and our investment level remained stable and during the first 9 months period, and gross investments were 136.5 million euros, and majority or 66% of our capex are invested in transmission and distribution network. At the moment, we have 3 major investment projects: Daugavas Hydro power unit reconstruction program, Kurzemes ring, and interconnection between Estonia and Latvia. Daugavas Hydro power unit reconstruction project is aimed to reconstruct 11 hydropower units by 2022. In this year we have invested in the reconstruction 23.7 million euros, and total investments in this project has reached 75.2 million euros. The investment project Kurzemes ring is aimed at increasing supply safety in Kurzemes region as well as in Latvia. The project is also important to enable the use of Nordbalt. At the moment, first and second stage of the Kurzemes ring project is completed. However, third stage of the project is expected to be completed in year 2019. Total investments in the project has reached 98 million euros, and this project is co-financed by EU. Third project is electricity transmission interconnection between Estonia and Latvia. This project is aimed at increasing transmission capacity between these two countries. The total project costs in Latvia are estimated approximately 100 million euros. The project is scheduled for completion by the end of 2022. The project is also co-funded by EU, and it's expected that the EU will cover 65% of construction costs. And at the moment, the in June, environmental impact assessment stage of the project was completed. Turning to the funding part, you can see that the total Latvenergo Group borrowings at the end of third quarter were 829 million euros. On 14 April, we completed our second bond offering program of 100 million euros by issuing green bonds in amount of 25 million euros. And as a result of that, bonds constitute approximately 25% of our total borrowings. In October, we received good news from Moody's, and Moody's has assigned the highest green bond assessment grade to our green bonds, and we are particularly proud that this is the first time when Moody's assesses and even assigns excellent grade for green bonds issued in Eastern Europe. That's shortly about financials, and now I would like to continue with one current issue, Latvenergo Group strategy. We are proud to announce that Latvenergo Group strategy for the next period from year 2017 till 2022 has been approved. Strategy is designed in response to major challenges in Baltic energy market. The strategy has been developed by performing industry and operating environment analysis, evaluating business opportunities and major challenges, as well by engaging with experts and stakeholders. In the strategy, we have defined three strategic objectives, and I will give a brief insight in each of them. First strategic objective is strengthening of the market position in local markets, meanwhile considering geographical and product service expansion. This strategic objective is mainly set for retail operations. The objective is not only to strengthen the existing market position in Baltics. Here is an opportunity. We see electricity household market opening in Lithuania, but also to look for some growth opportunities, namely by expanding product mix and by looking for geographic expansion opportunities in neighbor countries. The potential product expansion opportunities we see gas retail market as well as energy efficiency products. The second objective is development of generation portfolio that fosters synergy with trade and promotes value increase of the Latvenergo Group. Under this objective, we are planning to look for investment opportunities in new generation assets. As well, we are planning to continue our Daugavas hydropower unit reconstruction program. And the third strategic objective foresees development of customer-driven, functional, safe, and efficient power network. The utmost priority is to increase efficiency and to decrease connection lead time. At the same time, the objective objective also foresees investments in distribution network reliability and quality parameters, namely SIFI and SIDI. As well, objectives foresees digitalization of distribution network and such things. In strategy, we have set also profitability, capital structure, and dividend policy targets. The purpose of the profitability target is to increase returns and also to provide shareholders with reasonable compensation for risk-taking. As a profitability target, we have set return on equity. Our profitability target for year 2022 is set at 6% level, and that is in line with return on equity benchmark in energy sector. The purpose of second financial target is primarily to keep financial risk at a reasonable level, and at the same time to not to be over-capitalized. At the moment, Latvenergo is quite strongly financed by equity, and net debt equity ratio is around 33%. However, as the net debt to equity upper limit, we have set 50%. Taking into account that Latvenergo has quite strong capital structure, we have set relatively high dividend policy target, 80% or more. In 2015, we paid out 82% of Latvenergo Group profit, and also in previous years we paid out in dividends approximately 90% of group profit. If we look at energy sectors, and in energy sector approximately 60, 65, 70% of profit is paid out in dividends. Before we that's it from about strategy, and before we start with question and answer session, let me sum up the main points of the presentation. So, at the group level, our financial results have improved. Latvenergo Group EBIT reached 288 million euros, and that is increased by 22%. EBIT has positively impacted by lower electricity price, by substantially lower natural gas price, as well as by higher electricity output at Daugavas hydropower plants and as well at Riga CHPs. As well, it is important to remark that the next period strategy has been approved. So these are the main news about Latvenergo Group, and now I am ready to take any questions you may have.
Mr. Baļčūns, thank you for the presentation. Now I will proceed with the questions in the order they were received. A reminder to those who haven't yet submitted their questions, you can do that in the questions section in the settings panel zone. And the first question is, clean energy industry is rapidly growing nowadays. Have you thought about the implementation of new energy developing markets like one where energy is generated by wind turbines or solar panels?
Thank you for the question. First thing I want to say is that we are quite green company already now. approximately 60% of our generation comes from renewable resources. These are Daugavas hydropower plants, high-energy wind power plants, IVX hydropower plants, and at the moment also in Liepājas there are solar panels. But definitely in our strategy we have set one objective that states that we are looking for new investment opportunities in new generation assets, and mainly we are looking on green energy projects. And therefore the answer is yes, we are keen to look for new investment opportunities in green energy projects.
Thank you for your answer. And moving on with the next question. Moving on with the trends, the world is experiencing one of those electric cars. How are you going to develop your business to suit the needs of electric car consumers? Do you expect this market to be growing in the Baltics?
Yes, thank you for the question. Also, I could refer to our new strategy, and in our new strategy we have stated that we are expecting to expand the product mix and go in energy efficiency market, and probably one of the options is also the C-cars. However, we have to follow how the market will grow, and in case we will see that the technological improvement in electric cars are going very fast, and definitely we will work also in this segment.
Thank you. The following question is, what does your strategy say about funding of some social events, state-level importance, sports teams, charity, etc.?
Thank you for the question. At the moment, I would like to say that we are one of the sponsors for Olympic Games, and therefore our view is that we are also ready in case this sponsoring corresponds to our strategy and our values, then definitely we would be ready also to sponsor different projects. But main thing is that we have to balance our possibilities with needs, and look whether these projects are in line with our values.
Thank you. As I can see, this was the last question. Perhaps we can give a minute if someone would like to send their question in. And meanwhile, I would like to remind that the webinar will be available in the Nasdaq Baltic YouTube channel and in company's announcements. Okay, Mr. Baļčūns, thank you for the presentation and for answers given. Participants, thank you for joining.
Yes, thank you for joining, and hope to see you next time. Thank you.